What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Y'all already know I got another classic for y'all. For entertainment purposes only. So stay tuned to the end. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Let's just run it. Hey, technology getting better and better. I can see a future where we really don't gotta do nothing. I mean nothing. Y'all remember that cartoon movie WALL-E?
Elon Musk claims his Neuralink chip will allow you to stream music directly to your brain. So does this mean we get background music for our life?
The first Neuralink brain implant has been completed, says Elon Musk. And now they're connecting people's brains to the internet. You're not going to believe some of the details that I'm going to shed light on in this video. So this is a brain implanted chip that connects you to the internet, and it's supposed to help with depression, with people who are paralyzed. It's called telepathy is the name of the device to help people who cannot use their limbs. But these are all the good things that they're talking about. But it does have a lithium-ion battery inside that you have to recharge. It's going to cost around $10,500. But this is what I want to tell you. The Bible says that we have the mind of Christ. And when you take this device, some people are saying that this is the leading precursor to the mark of the beast. But what I feel is that when you're connected to the internet, then your thoughts and intentions are known. Because if you're connected to the internet, everything is being recorded. Everything that you're connected to in your brain, everything that you think about would be known and would be stored as data. So my concern is that people are going to take this device and they're not going to even be a person anymore. They're going to be property of Elon Musk. So if you like this content that I make and you want to hear more, comment below and click follow.
Elon Musk's Neuralink has installed its first implant into a person who no one has seen yet. Neuralink is a good idea. It's a wireless brain-computer interface that is installed via robot because the implant is too fine for human hands. And it is controlled by your thoughts. Yes, to send emails and check the internet, but primarily for communication. The implant was approved by the FDA last year, and so Neuralink started taking requests from patients 22 and older living with spinal cord injuries, ALS, or similar conditions. This could truly change the lives of people who've been paralyzed or born with a genetic disease. Neuralink isn't alone. Other implants to help patients walk, like this man who was paralyzed in an accident 13 years ago, are proving to be life-changing. Elon posted this on X, saying the unknown patient is doing well, though he provided no evidence. There has been quite a bit of controversy surrounding Neuralink, like what happened to those 12 monkeys they experimented on that died, along with other animal cruelty allegations. But regardless of how all that turns out, Neuralink will undoubtedly be a player in this future field.
Elon Musk launched the Neuralink in 2016. That was 8 years ago. And we already got it in humans? The future being here. We just experienced just a little taste of it. Me personally, I'll pass. That's even scary to think about. And if I had it, I'd be scared to think at all.
It's a strange story that I've told many times, but I'll tell it again for those who haven't heard it. When I went on this field trip with this camp that I was a part of, we went to this pool and all the kids were in the pool swimming, but I didn't know how to swim, so I was just chilling outside with one of the camp leaders. I went to that summer camp for like 5 years, 4 or 5 years in a row. And so I was very familiar with all the camp leaders. To this day, still remember their faces and their names. But this dude in particular, he was only there for like a few weeks. And he was strange. He always wore sunglasses and he had like blonde hair, super blonde hair and like pale skin. So looking looking back on it, I feel like he was, have you heard of the tall whites, the Nordics? You've heard of them? Yeah, I think he was one of those. He sat me down because I didn't know how to swim, so he's hanging out with me, and for whatever reason, he starts talking to me about the Bible and the book of Revelation, and tells me, he sits me down at 8 years old, and he said, Eddie, one day there's going to come a time in your life where the governments of the world are going to create the mark of the beast, and they're going to try to push it on everybody. And he said, first they're going to try and do it politely, advertise it, and then slowly they're going to create something that makes it so that you have to get it, and then eventually they're going to just force you to get it. They're going to knock on your door and force you to get it. And I remember this part. He looks at me and he says, Eddie, it is better for you to die and not take the mark of the beast than to take it.
This lady is 141 years old. Y'all listen to her story and how she got here.
Have you been a herbalist?
From 1977, yeah. And my age is 141 years old now.
You're 141 years old?
Right now.
So is your medicine make you live so long?
I mean, I have no sugar, I have no pressure, no heart attack, I have no pain. You know, I farm, I do everything steady. Yeah, man, I have children, so my granddaughter there, so I said, Simila, and my daughter, Judith, and my sons, them. You know. Yeah.
How long did it take you to perfect your formula?
Well, I work with the moon, and the moon is that either like when the moon is kind of full, and the new moon, you try to prepare your herbs, and before the moon full, then you will boil your herbs. So I just soak my herbs, and after soaking them, then I throw them out, and prepare them, put them into the bottle, and so forth. So I work with humanity. I'm a healer through the power of the Most High. So I heal through the herbs and water. So no matter what the problem you have, there's something in the herbs for you. Because the Most High said, if the leaves of the tree are healing of the nation. You know what I mean? So then we must attune ourselves to the herbs. Yeah? And the herb will heal us. Cramp, pain, and all of them something, the bad stomach. Because look, in the year 2002, the doctor diagnosed me.
Did you hear the number one thing that she said in order to stay this young? She stayed away from sugar. Sugar is the leading cause of every disease and almost impossible to stay away from. Listen to this.
You know, the source of all human diseases is sugar. The more sugar you eat, the greater your risk of premature aging. Investigations have found that sugar is even more harmful than cigarettes, and more than 90% of diseases are closely related to sugar. A long-term high-sugar diet will increase the risk of heart disease and cancer, and may lead to obesity, osteoporosis, tooth damage, malnutrition, and accelerated aging. For example, cakes, potato chips, chocolate, etc. Most of the fat and calories in these foods can be excreted through the body's metabolism, but the sugar will be 100% absorbed by the body. Once too much sugar is stored, it will be converted into fat, and people will become obese. Triglycerides and fatty liver will come to their doorstep. Just like this bottle of Coke, drinking it is equivalent to eating 12 sugar cubes. Drinking a bottle of iced black tea is equivalent to eating 8 sugar cubes. In addition, children drink blended breakfast milk, lactose milk powder, etc. One bottle is equivalent to eating 5 sugar cubes. When you walk into the supermarket, you will find that many packaged foods are labeled as healthy and natural, but almost 70% of the ingredient lists contain sugar, and we cannot escape it. Therefore, it is almost impossible to completely quit sugar. Reasonable sugar control is the way to health. Try to avoid taking the initiative to eat desserts. We can eat fruits and yogurt instead of common desserts, eat less highly processed foods, and try to avoid consumption of large amounts of sugar. Health is no small matter. Please share this video with your family around.
It's crazy how we used to heal ourselves using herbs, fruits, vegetables, and the power of the sun, and now majority of our people are going to doctors who are taught to be cold and callous, who are not connection with their own body, who can't empathize with their own body, and they are the ones who are supposed to heal you. Yeah, that's funny. But removing sugar from your diet and processed foods will help you in a major way. That lady's 141 years old. Listen to her, she knows. So let me know what you guys think about this video, sharing information for y'all. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting time. Keep up with me on my other account, especially on my YouTube, where I go deeper on the esoteric level on these topics. Thank you for tuning to my frequency.
How many of y'all sitting back watching this video with a nice cold pop? Nice sugary beverage, some candy. We really need to cut back, man. But it's always good to treat yourself sometime. but don't treat yourself all the time.
Morbid Facts, Part 191. In 1988, actor Gary Busey was in a motorcycle accident where he collided headfirst into concrete without wearing a helmet. The accident fractured his skull, resulting in permanent brain damage, and Busey even said he briefly went to heaven. Years later, Gary refused to perform a scene set in heaven because he said the set design looked nothing like the real heaven that he visited. In the winter of 2014, a 4-year-old Colorado girl named Naomi was at the park with her family. While they weren't paying attention, she apparently wandered off and walked over a frozen pond before falling through. This photo captured her final footsteps before she broke through the ice and sadly drowned. There's a woman who's literally fearless due to an extremely rare genetic condition known as Urbach-Wiethe disease. The disorder results in the hardening of the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for fear response. Researchers exposed her to numerous terrifying experiences, and not a single one of them scared her.
Every 1,000 years, this planet go through a reset, and we are at the end of the 1,000 years right now. We only had 1,000 years to learn how to travel the universe before the Earth actually reset. But we never learned how to travel the universe, so now we are here while the Earth is resetting. This is wrong. So the question is, if the Earth reset and we are still here, what happens to us? It's simple. When the Earth reset, we spiritually reset, meaning we're going to do the same cycle for 1,000 years all over again. We were supposed to learn how to travel through the sun, go to Mars, go to Jupiter, go to all these different planets and understand what is the universe and get more advanced technology. But the sun is a portal. The only way you can go through the sun is someone invite you. There are higher beings that's waiting for us. But if we don't get an invitation to travel through the sun, we will never travel nowhere. We will always be stuck here in this loop or the cycle of this 1,000 years reincarnation. It's the dark truth behind these UFOs we see every day, because we was taught to fear everything we don't understand. But these UFOs are here for a higher purpose. You ever notice back in ancient days, our ancestors always painted UFOs and aliens inside of cave walls? You can still go back and find these paintings all throughout the world. This was a message. No, this was a warning to us, trying to let us know that we have to leave this planet. Our ancestors painted these pictures on the wall as a warning because they knew one day we will see it, and some of us will understand what's going on. We have to leave this planet so other life forms can actually evolve. Everything is a natural reset or recycle on this planet. Just how we are walking in the darkness right now, there's going to be another life form that walk in the darkness, and we're supposed to be the ETs come back to help them. All these UFOs we see right now, they once walked the same path in the same planet as us, but they learned how to travel the stars. Now we are pointing up like, look at all these UFOs, not knowing that they had the same path we had. But now is our time to travel the universe, and when we come back to this planet, it's going to be other life forms that's going to look up and say, look at all these UFOs, but it's really going to be us. That's why you hear about the new Earth or parallel worlds. Our ancestors found a way to create different planets. The new Earth is just a planet that our ancestors created, advanced technology. That's why you hear so many woke people say, I'm going to the new Earth. Well, the new Earth is just a parallel world our ancestors created. They are waiting for us to join them. The 1,000-year cycle is up and Earth is about to reset. That's why you hear about all these bunkers all of a sudden. They're trying to hide from the Great Reset. They are trying to hide because they cannot travel through the sun and go to different worlds. But we can, but we forgot how to do it. So now we're going to join them when the Earth resets.
What's so important to understand, if you really look at the evidence of what people have reported, which is evidence of what people reported, people are seeing them. That's why UFOs ain't going away, because people keep seeing them. It's not just these flybys. These close encounters and these communications are something that are reported more than anything. I'll tell you, I'll speak with pilots all the time, and they start off with saying, okay, I saw a UFO. Great, describe it. It's super, direct and specific. Give it a couple more months of talking to them, and they'll say, oh, there's one thing I didn't tell you. What is that? And they hit me with it. There's usually something else that has occurred with that close encounter that has more to do with communication. Now, can we trust what's being told to these individuals? I don't trust nobody till they earn my trust, so I'm not going to trust what's said, but there is a repeating pattern of things that are said to human beings when they say they've had a close encounter. And oftentimes, it's about the devastating things that we're doing to our planet.
first one was definitely a plane. You can hear it in everything. That second one I thought was a rocket, but then you seen a streak come out the back, and that got me wondering.
Over to San Francisco, same thing. Just
beautiful beyond description.
Stunning architecture. And once again, all the stuff's about water. So much water. And those lead pipes that you said you have, that's about this time. You know, that's when those things were being installed or built or already were there.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of the homes in New York, everything was already there. People just kind of took it over and hijacked it. And here you can see some more. Turn up the brightness if you can see it.
It's really remarkable. You know, this is another world. It's another world. And
I mean, look at that building. I just want to show you. Look at that building right there. You know, that is like something out of, you would think a movie. Because think of how much the effort it would take to build something this. And then there's a pond, or not a pond, but a fountain in the water again. You know, so much water, and having to move water and do all these things. The feats of art to do this is just mind-blowing.
Matt, I think it was, when I was watching that Netflix documentary years ago by Dr. Stephen Greer, I think it was called, I forget what it was called. Anyway, there's one segment in the film called The Lost Century. And it was all about technology suppression, and it was all about the world that we could have had, that it was being held back from us. I just came off of 2023. In August is when I was doing quite a bit of work on the 400th Columbian Exposition, the 1893 World's Fair. So we were dealing with a lot of these same kind of architectural feats, the people involved, what was going on and how it all came together. And when you really examine the majesty and the pride with which that we built things, and you think about what we have now, obviously we have, better consumer grade technology. We have progressed somewhere, but I feel like we have done far less and far worse for ourselves than we should have. Looking at that, I just don't think that we should be here over 120 years later. I think we should have done so much better. I feel like with less, they did more than we did. What the hell happened the last 100 years?
Well, you had a lot of resets, I mean, wars were used to reset a lot of information and get rid of a lot of people.
If you guys didn't know, this is Pythagoras right here. He is the most popular Greek philosopher accredited for making the observation of boats disappearing from bottom up when moving away from an observer at a shoreline over the ocean. Let's do a thought experiment. If me and you are out at this shoreline right here, looking out to the horizon and we see no boats, the assumption would be, if we were on a spherical Earth, that those boats have gone over the horizon, correct? What if I told you we can prove that wrong by zooming in on the apparent horizon? And you can actually resolve boats back again, proving that they didn't go over a physical or geometric curve. You see, no boats. They've all gone over the curvature of the Earth, right? Is it a boat? I wonder if it's more to do with perspective, angular resolution, and Rayleigh's criterion. All that they did, guys, was take perspective and reverse engineer it and say that it was an artifact of the Earth being a ball. As an object, like a boat, goes further and further away from an observer, just like these trees here, let's assume they're all the same size, as they get further and further away, they decrease in angular size, causing their angular size to become unresolvable due to Rayleigh's criterion. This is Rayleigh's criterion. As two sources of light get closer and closer together, they become one. They essentially become indistinguishable. You guys have never seen somebody demonstrate this with a quarter and a table? It's really mind-blowing, to be honest. I think you'll enjoy it, Glowbers. I think this guy puts it very elegantly, so I'll play the clip for you now.
Now, you Globers are going to sit at home and say that table is just higher than the observer height or the camera height. Now, let's get that sorted quick smart. When we zoom in, we increase the focal length and increase the angular resolution. and we can resolve that coin in its entirety. As you can see, the bottom of the coin is shining.
Everything is perspective, and it can't be reverse engineered to just trick everyone to think the Earth's a ball. Okay? The rising and lowering of the sun over the course of the year, the rising and lowering of stars when you're getting more north or south, all can be explained by perspective, and none of them necessitate that the Earth is a spinning, wobbling space pear. Went over this a little bit in my last video, but perspective quite literally controls all of our observations, because when we make observations, we use our eyes. So the ground ramps up, the sky ramps down. I mean, if you just look up the definition of the horizon, let's just look at it real quick. The apparent intersection of the earth and sky as seen by an observer. This apparent intersection is created by perspective, and you have to take it into account when making any observations, especially ones which claim the sphericity of the Earth. So if you ever hear anybody saying that boats going over the horizon or things disappearing from bottom up prove that the Earth's a ball, simply laugh at them for me. They're closest to the convergence point of perspective necessitated by angular resolution as well as Rayleigh's criterion. Perspective is everything, friends. The Earth is flat.
If the Earth is flat, why does the sun appear to rise and set? It's because the sun is not actually rising and setting. In the morning, the sun gets closer to you. In the evening, the sun gets further away from you. This is Psalms 19:5. It's talking about the sun. And rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. What do you notice about a racetrack? It moves in a circuit or in a circle. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit, oh, there it is, unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Alright, so the sun and the moon actually move in a circuit type fashion around the flat earth. This is where we get clocks from. Alright, it's like a racetrack. See? It goes around and around and around. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. Alright, it's moving in a circuit, which is why it's able to go back to the same place where it arose, right? Because it's moving in a circuit. It goes right back to where my finger is, look. So the reason it appears to rise and set is really just because it's either getting further away or it's getting closer to you. Right? The reason it appears to be rising is because it's getting closer to me. Imagine there was an airplane all the way over there, super far away. It would appear to be right above those trees, right? If it was really far away. But the closer it got to me, it wouldn't change altitude. It would just look like it's higher up in the sky, right? And all this information has been hidden and lost, right? This is why I made you guys the True Earth books. You can go relearn all this stuff. It's in my profile.
Me personally, I don't really think about it that often, but these guys right here be having some compelling arguments, especially the second dude. He be coming with the Bible facts and everything.
TikTok messed up my last video, so if you see this on the For You page, let me know. I'm sure you've seen how Russia offered to help Texas get independence from the US, right? Well, it goes a lot deeper than that. So while we have Putin literally aiding Texas in the escape of America, we have a sheriff with a Russian accent in Texas proposing holding a referendum to return Texas and free itself from the yoke of current criminal regime in the US. So that's odd in itself, right? Gets deeper. At the same exact time, we have a supporter of the Russian Wagner military contractor or military group seen in Texas at the same time. And right now, with all the people, National Guard, and trucks heading to Texas, look how many planes the Air Force has sent to Texas. Why are they there? And also, you know how Greg Abbott had ordered all those National Guard tanks to come to Texas? Now the Army themselves is sending tanks to Texas. So who's controlling the Army right now? So what's going on and why is it going on? And if you forgot, 2 years ago, Russia invites US states to secede and join country. Yes, 2022. Weird.
That is what your consciousness looks like. If you don't believe me, let me explain. It is an amalgamation or a combination of all of the signals that make you up, making your individual frequency. You start with a source frequency. If you don't have it, you're dead. It's animating frequency, life force, quantum field, whatever you want to call it. The mind then splits that signal up into left and right hemispheres of the brain that get translated by the central nervous system in your body, that then step it down to the organs and muscles that tell the cells how to operate within this reality. All of this conscious energy gets stepped down into signals that each one of these things can use to do the various processes that keep you alive. Since consciousness isn't here, you tune into memories using these things, little antennas here called neurons. A bookmark to where that memory was. And when you connect these, then you have epiphanies and you get a stronger connection to we'll call it. There are many gateways to this web. And the spiritual traditions have their own individual ways of getting there and accessing that information. Understanding and developing this develops humanity as a...
Why do we procrastinate? Procrastination is hurting yourself twice. Once before you do it, and twice when you're doing it. A lot of people think procrastination is a character flaw, or a time management problem. But really, it's more about emotional association. For example, you don't want to write that paper because it brings up feelings of self-doubt. Or you don't want to solve that problem at work because it's boring. Chronic procrastinators are usually not good at emotional regulation, to the point where future you feels like a different person, and it's like you're putting your problems onto them. A study in 2021 found that college students with more gray matter in this area of the brain, a region associated with self-control, were less likely to procrastinate. Gray matter plays a big role in your brain, but basically it processes information. The more connections between here and the rest of the frontal regions, the better the students were on average at regulating their emotions and focusing on long-term goals. There are obviously a lot of factors that can come into play here, like depression, ADHD, genetics, but for many people it can come down to emotional regulation. And while I don't normally make videos on behavioral science, I thought this article was pretty interesting.
I procrastinate sometimes, but I noticed that once you force yourself to do it, then you'll start getting in the habit, but only procrastinate over certain things.
So have you ever heard about the worm shark? If you haven't, watch this video.
This experiment started off by taking DNA from one of our pet worms, splicing it together with DNA from one of our pet sharks.
A worm and a shark.
We took their samples to our laboratory where we spliced them together, fertilized eggs, and we had our chicken keep them warm until they were ready to hatch. And after 5 months, they were born. These are the world's first worm sharks. They're half worm, half shark. They breathe air and can also breathe underwater. They're extremely intelligent and very friendly. These are some of the most amazing creatures we have ever made.
We're definitely living in the days of Noah, because what in the abomination did we just watch? People just get bored and start making Pokemon characters, splicing DNA and creating worm sharks. Bro, I literally cannot make this up. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on worm sharks in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom states.
They said it was kind and had some smarts too. Can breathe in water and underwater. Yeah, I'm cool on all that.
They lied to us about UFOs, angels, demons, gods. Devil is not real. Every UFO, fallen angel you ever see, they are just time travelers coming from a different timeline. I know what people gonna say, but time is not real. 12, 1, 2, that time is not real. Universal time is real. When you're in a higher dimension, you are able to look down on lower dimensions and you are able to see what's going to take place before it really happened. It's a reason why most of these great aliens are always abducting people. Why do you think they are putting chips inside of our bodies? They are studying everything on this planet because we actually destroy our timeline. And if we destroy our timeline, we destroy every timeline that exists in the universe. So anytime you see a UFO, it's not an accident. They did it on purpose. They want you to see them. Most of these UFOs are trying to fix these timelines. Our planet has been turned to a laboratory, all about studying and researching, evolving. They're trying to understand where did we go wrong in our timeline. Remember, some people want us to wake up and some people want us to stay asleep. The reason why we fell is because we ate from the tree of life. Once we start eating other animals with a consciousness and a spirit like us, we fell from the tree of life, or our timeline was frozen. Once we broke universal law, we send out negative frequencies throughout the whole universe. So once we send out negative frequencies, every negative life form actually connected to these frequencies. And it became an invitation for all kind of demonic life forms to come on this planet. Now we have higher beings trying to correct our mistakes. So when you see angels trying to help us, they are just different versions of us on different timelines. They found a way to bend space and open up portals. And we forgot how to do this, but we see it every day. We just don't know how to tune into it. When you see these pictures like this, they're trying to tell you something. The pictures of them bending space is nothing but whirlpools. Anytime you see the water open up like this, it is a portal. We can actually travel through water and go to different timelines. Remember, water is the highest frequency on this planet. That's why they trying to hide Antarctica. Antarctica is the base or the road laboratory where all these life forms come in and off of this planet. We are not allowed to go there because we are the reason why this timeline is actually frozen. So now our planet is just a hologram, a simulation with NPCs and certain real souls. This is going on for a reason. They're trying to overstand the mistakes that's going on. We are not dealing with a bunch of demonic energy. We are dealing with different life forms that's on the same wavelength as us. As we evolve, they evolve. When we devolve, they devolve.
Have you seen this interview with Dennis Quaid on Tucker Carlson on why they have to build these underground bunkers? And check it out, you guys. He seems a little bit shooken up. Check this out.
There's a 100% probability that our sun generating what they call a GMD, which is a solar storm, that hits our Earth and the magnetic field that we have around the Earth, and can fry everything that is electric above the ground, including our entire grid.
And this would happen organically, naturally? That's just what the sun does?
It has happened. There was they call it a Carrington event, which happened in, I think it was 1859. And at that time, basically we had telegraph lines, as far as electricity goes. And it fried our entire telegraph system. It was set up, had to be replaced. And
the entire thing?
The entire thing. And so imagine what that would do now with a very large storm, which there's a 100% chance of it happening. And that was a 100-year event, they call that one. And
I'm not good at math, but
the trillions of dollars that it would take to replace all that, plus we wouldn't even get to spend those trillions of dollars, because it would take out not only the electricity, but all of our entire infrastructure and our society runs on electricity. We don't know how to live without it. So, you turn on, there wouldn't be any water in your tap. You couldn't get gas for your car because the whole system is broken down. Everything that we rely upon would be gone. The food would melt in our refrigerators. There would be and they predict within a year, about 90% of the population would be dead from starvation, disease, or, people, it gets back to the Stone Age again.
He seems a little shaken up, you guys, like he knows a lot more information than he's actually disclosing on Tucker Carlson. Remember, the victor writes history. The pen is mightier than the sword. So I believe he knows a lot more than he's leading on. And the reason why I said this, I believe the 1859 Carrington event created a lot more disaster than we are actually being told about, you guys. And this is what I believe Dennis Quaid is actually trying to hide. What do you guys think about this video? Do you actually think he's hiding more as well? This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. And all these people, all these celebrities are getting bunkers. They know a lot more going on than they are telling us. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Y'all think we can handle another event like that at this time?
Y'all think our technology is protected? I don't know. Well, if something like that was to happen, we sure will find out.
Here are some morbid facts about Elon Musk. As a child, Elon was the youngest and smallest student in his class and was viciously bullied. During one incident, he was thrown down the stairs and kicked in the head by several students until his face was unrecognizable. Luckily, he became a billionaire since it took him decades of plastic surgeries to fix the damage caused to his face and nose. Elon has been quoted calling his father Errol a terrible human being who's done almost every evil thing imaginable. In 1998, Errol had 7 intruders break into his home and killed 3 of them before the rest ran off. He also has 2 kids with his stepdaughter, who's 42 years younger than him, and was only 4 years old when Errol married her mom. In the year 2000, Elon contracted one of the most lethal forms of malaria while on vacation in South Africa. At one point, he was only hours away from death and lost 45 pounds in total while taking 6 months to recover. He cites this near-death experience as a turning point of his life that gave him a renewed focus and determination to succeed.
Here's something a little creepy and odd. There is a statue, a huge statue of Archangel Michael, yielding a sword that looks like a cross and killing or defeating a reptoid, reptilian, dragon-looking entity. And this statue was actually gifted by the United Nations, and it is called Good Defeats Evil. Now, the United Nations is not some random organization that has no affiliation to the world powers. This is a very, very powerful organization. And the fact that they choose this kind of imagery says a lot. And there's something a lot of us are not paying attention to. And that is, there is a literal spiritual warfare going on around us 24/7 for hundreds of thousands of years, maybe millions of years now. And human beings are just lost in the sauce, completely unaware of what's going on, yet they're putting it in front of your face. Now you're probably asking yourself, well, I'm only one mere mortal human. What am I supposed to do about this? Archangel Michael, like mostly all archangels, are warriors. Here's what New Age spiritualists and love and light spiritualists do not understand. Angels are warriors. Angels are not love and light. Angels won't pat you on your shoulder and be like, it's okay, and tell you to be passive and get trampled on. No. Angels have a divine duty to kill and destroy anything that goes against the divine plan. And if angels have the authority and the audacity to be warriors and yield weapons, because Archangel Michael has a sword, Azrael has a sickle, Raphael has a trumpet, why can't we humans be more of warriors? There are a lot of you here on planet Earth that are little fragments or little tiny reincarnations of Archangel Michael, Archangel Azrael, Archangel Raphael, all these archangels and powerful angels, and you don't even know it yet. And you're not accessing your warrior power to create authority, to create justice and balance in this world. Because you're being too passive. You're allowing this new age spiritual junk to influence you and thinking praying and meditating and being delusional is going to make the problem go away. Remember how we said, oh, COVID would never happen. Oh, quarantine would never happen. Generations ago, they thought World War II would never happen. Or major events like the nuclear war would never happen. But yet it did. This is reality, people. Pretending that the problem doesn't exist or trying to manifest it away is delusion. And why I bring up Archangel Michael and all these archangels is because they are the closest thing you can get to Source or God. Literally, Archangel Michael is called Angel of the highest rank. If these powerful, almighty, divine beings have the divine right to be warriors, then so can we, to create change in our reality. If you ignore the problem will still exist. I hate to break it to you manifestation people, but you cannot manifest it away or turn a blind eye against the situation and hope it's not going to happen. Because just because you don't acknowledge that reality doesn't mean the person who's about to do it doesn't acknowledge that reality. And we have to remember these elites, these ones in power, they have power. Unfortunately, we have given them the power, but they have power. Nothing is stopping them from absolutely destroying things. And the only reason why they haven't fully destroyed things is because there are factions that have just as much power, aka the archangels, who are fighting this battle to stop them. And we, humanity, need to help. Stop being delusional. Do something about it. If you want to be the change, you have to start infiltrating the same systems that have done this to us. You want more justice? Be a lawyer. Be a police officer. You want to be more humanitarian? Get rich. Give back to society. This is how you activate that inner warrior instead of being passive, because we're literally, as humanity, being trampled on. We have the divine right to activate our warrior side, because if you didn't know, human beings are actually hybrids of the angelic and fallen angelic entities. This is why we have the angel and the devil on our shoulders, constantly combating each other. Our human history is extremely complex. If you want to learn more about the angels, the fallen angels, human ancestry, human galactic origins, my book, Made in God's Image, is linked in my bio. My book has helped many people understand their spiritual journey more and open new doors for them. But remember that all of us have fragments of angelic DNA within us. It's just up to you if you want to activate it or not. Stop being passive.
Hey, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all subscribe, go ahead and like, and make sure y'all hit that bell. But until next time.